They can use whatever euphemism they want, but this is a torture program, and torture is a slippery slope. And so when I got back to headquarters in May of that year, I was just standing in the sandwich line at the CIA cafeteria, and one of the senior guys from the Counterterrorism Center came up to me very casually. And he said, "Oh, hey, I'm glad I ran into you. I meant to ask you, do you want to be certified in the use of enhanced interrogation techniques?" And I had never heard that term before. This was May of 2002. I said, "Enhanced interrogation techniques, what's that mean?" And he goes, "We're going to start getting rough with these guys." Like that. And I said, "What's that mean?" So he describes these 10 techniques. And I said, "I don't know, man. That sounds like a torture program." And he said, "It's not a torture program. We got it cleared by the Justice Department, and the president signed it." He says, "Think about it." I said, "Yeah, give me an hour. I need an hour to think about it." I walked out of the cafeteria. I went up to the 7th floor, which is the executive floor. And there was a very, very senior officer up there for whom I had worked 10 years earlier in the Middle East. I knocked on his door, no appointment or anything. And I said, "Hey, I need some advice. I was just asked if I wanted to be trained in these enhanced interrogation techniques. What do you think of that?" And he said, "First of all, let's call a spade a spade." He said, "This is a torture program. They can use whatever euphemism they want, but this is a torture program, and torture is a slippery slope. They're going to go overboard, and they're going to kill a prisoner. And when that happens, there's going to be a congressional investigation, then there's going to be a Justice Department investigation, and somebody's going to go to prison. Do you want to go to prison?" I said, "No, I don't want to go to prison." As it turned out, I was the only person who went to prison, but I said, "No, I don't want to go to prison." I went back downstairs. I said, "Listen, I have a moral and ethical problem with this. I think it's illegal, and I don't want any part of it."